this is the first problem. Okay. Now, I spoke to Sam, and Sam gave me access to the email that all of the stats come to. Okay. He said, he says, even if you don't have access to the Gmail, you should be able to access uh, using his password on his main email. So we can always. Um, this was the username and password he gave me for his main email. So this is where all the stats are. So there's no more excuse for missing stats because even if they didn't update their email, you can always go into his original email. Let me give you the password again. The problem was that every time we logged in, it was asking for a code, but I think we fixed it by updating the phone number. So let me check if we can actually log in right now. Let's check. Helps Mobifone. I told him to update the phone number to get a text message to update the two-factor authentication to make sure that I can get in. Now we're going to see if anyone can get in. Okay, so I'm in. Okay? So he removed the two-factor authentication. I want you guys also to log in right now and confirm that you can log in, please. All of you. Okay?
Yeah,
So just
yeah,
send you the
okay.
password. Now, if you search the emails here, you'll see 50M. Okay? It looks like November 12th was the last email. 11:10. Oh, so they stopped sending. Did they stop sending stats? Let's download the stats and see what happens. And because right now you see it's missing stats here, right? This is what zero means. But I don't see any stats in that email. The last email is 11:08, so that's why you have a zero. Okay? Stats was added already. You see previous 320. Okay. So between the two emails, you should have all the stats, but if it's a zero, absolutely we have a problem, and we need to pause it. So let's open the campaign. Let's open this token. Can you check your email? Is anyone getting 50M stats?
No, Lionel,
Nothing?
nothing.
Okay, so we're just gonna pause it.
Okay.
And we'll just put it as inactive. Okay? The next one, prime roll. Let's check this email and see if they're sending stats. So prime roll is sending stats. So now you have no excuse for no stats. So let's add the stats. We're gonna download it. Okay, and we're going to update stats. So we have a lot of stats. We have 17. We're gonna add every day. Okay, update. I mean, obviously it's not good stats, but no mapping. So we have one problem here, which is the no mapping. This is the problem. So we're getting stats on 2435090, okay? And it doesn't match to where we're sending traffic. So this is the problem, and that's why you have a score of zero. Because even though you're updating stats, there's no mapping. So the first thing you want to do is understand why the traffic is coming in, okay? First of all, let's see if the traffic is matching. It's matching. So 29,000, 29,000. So the first thing that tells me is that this traffic, this zone is just not mapped correctly. So you open this up, okay? And you'll see this is the ID, 2435090. For some reason, he put 70005. This is incorrect. So you just have to update this, and you update this, okay? You click update, and then if you watch the stats, it will update automatically. You see, there's no more missing stats, okay? We have one that's missing, which is probably also incorrect, but it's very small traffic, so we can ignore. And now everything matches, so we can update every day. We'll go back to 16, but you see, now uh, the system will not have all of these zeros, and the system can send traffic to the correct feeds. So we're gonna update every day. See, it was previously not updated, okay? So we have 16, no. So we have 17, we already updated the 16. So now you can go back and add all these stats. And if you update here, if you refresh, you'll see this score the zero will go away. Still has zero, but it's from red. So why the score didn't update? Okay, if it's red, then you know that it's a problem with stats. But because we added stats already, there's no score yet because it didn't have traffic, and it didn't have traffic the day before. So it's missing. It has to take 7 days. But if you give it some time, now that the system knows that it has stats, it will update the score eventually. But if you ever want to check, you can always click on this eye. It will check the quality. Okay. And now you see that there's revenue, there's stats, okay, the fraud score, okay, and once you see that it's not missing and the stats are working, okay, then you can not worry about it. You see over here, everything is missing. So the reason why there's no score is because we didn't update all of the old ones. So we need to go back really and update all of PrimeRoll, and the system will give it a score. Okay, we'll just go back to we can even go to 8. You see, nothing was updated. 7, missed 20. So again, same thing here. The stats came in on 2435214, and he has it mapped to 7007. So we're going to update this token over here now. Okay. Again, you see 243521. Okay. 214. So whoever put this in, you just need to update it. Okay. The status field looks like we turned this off already, but we can turn it back on because probably we turned it off because there was no stats. But the mapping was wrong. It wasn't a problem with stats. You have to be very, very careful and make sure that if there's stats, that it's updated because you could lose a lot of money like that. So, 50M we had no stats. Zach is missing stats. Let's see Zach. Okay. Zach Media. Let's check the 15th. There is stats. So why is it red? It's not red. Okay. So again, we turned it off. Why did we turn it off? Somebody asked us to turn it off or was missing stats? Oh, this one is missing. Okay. So if you go to Zach Media, you'll see there was some missing, right? Again, no mapping. So it's a problem with this. If you look at the no mapping and the missed, we don't have anything missed. So we need to understand which traffic 20354 and which is 12650. Okay? The 12650 Let's see what this is. This is 29863. 29863. That looks good, but it's not showing as missing. Let's see this. So this is 12650. So the question is where this traffic came from, because we don't have any missed stats and we didn't send 12650. So we need to find out where this traffic was and why it's showing as missing. 29863. So in this case, most cases like this, you have to reach out to Zach Media and you have to find out if they made a mistake and they're putting the channel 12650 29863. This is strange. Let's go and look at providers. There might be an issue with two Zach Medias. Let's see. There's only one. Zach Media, okay. Let's look at the campaign. So according to this, on the 15th, there was no traffic. There was stats, there was no stats. So we need to figure out what happened here with this token. Why it's red. We have other Zach Media, which is not 29863. Let's check this campaign. What happened was, looks like somebody went and changed the mapping, okay, after the traffic was sent already. So it looks like somebody messed with this token because we don't have any missed stats, okay? So probably someone went and edited the token after, because or else we would see here missed of 29863. So it must be that during the time when it was sent, it was one ID, and you went and then edited the token. Okay, not you, but maybe Sam. I don't know who did it, but this is a absolute lesson. Never, ever, ever edit tokens that are live. You can forward tokens, you can delete tokens, you can change tokens to go, you can do sub tokens if you have two of the same URLs, okay? And it's better to create a new token and create a sub token with the hashtag one than it is to do this. Okay, this is an absolute no-no that you should never do. But you see what happens, because now someone went and edited the token, and I'm sure if we go into the stats history, we could probably track it even. Let's check 14. You see? So here it was changed. 243. So 707. Someone changed this. This is 243,512. No, sorry. What is this one? We are looking for 29863. Or I could just copy this one and see what happened. That was us. You see? So we found a lot of changes for this token. Okay? Oh boy. It's too many to go through. Let's try to narrow it down even more. No, I can't see it. So here's the ZMedia that we just updated. Let's see. Take revenue. It's going to be hard to, I have to get support to check what exactly happened, but more than likely that these two, this is also red, right? 16733, number one, 16733. Why is this red? Somebody, yes, this is definitely, we created sub tokens. So if it was, the first thing we need to do is somebody probably edited the tokens while they were live, or else you would see missing stats. Okay, so because we don't see missing stats on Zach Media, okay, then it means someone went and updated it while it was live and changed the tokens. But we see additional stats here. Let's remove the filter. Maybe it's being filtered. Here we go. That's why. All right, let's add update for the 15th, and let's see if it fixes it. Okay, so now it stopped being red. All right, so that was actually my mistake. It was just filtered. So now you see it's not red, and soon it will get a score. But Zach Media just got a score. Prime Roll will get a score eventually. But now, because it was filtered, it wasn't missed. So it was there. That's why you didn't see it on missed. You had to uncheck filtered, but we still have no mapping 12650 and 57884. So we need to find let's see, 12650. Let's see, 12650. We need to find who's sending 12650 because we see nothing is missed. 12650, let's see. We don't see anything. We have to find this traffic. Probably one of these sub tokens. Oh, that's 2 pages. 12,650. Here we go. So this is the token for 12,650. And let's see if it got traffic. Well, we have to figure out where the traffic came from, but we can ignore it for right now. Small amount, but it looks like it's sometimes it could be from the day before, or sometimes it could be from a mapping issue. So we need to figure out which token has the wrong mapping. But we send traffic on 12,650. They receive traffic from that token that I showed you, but it's not being recorded in our system. So sometimes it could be a time zone issue, and maybe if you go to the next day, like the 16th, you will see no issues sometimes. But you see how much more revenue we pulled? So now it's going to get a good score if we update. So let's add and update everything on the 16th. Let's add an update on the 17th. We have missing stats now on the 17th. Let's see what's missing. 29863. So we didn't get stats on it. So we would have to reach out to them and find out why we missed stats on one ID. These are all good. Let's add the 18th. Not yet. Okay. So we just added stats. And we have no mapping 1, which is 12,650 again. And we need to see where this traffic is coming from. So you can always try to, if you look, what day is this? 11/16. Sometimes you can go to the 16th and you can just click show missed. And you'll see if anything comes up. And you can show traffic less. I don't see anything under this provider. Here's Zach Media. So this is missed. Here's the 29863 is missed. So now we have to figure out 29863. But it's there on the 16th. Let's refresh. And 9863. So we have to see what's up with the mapping. So here's a good example of the problem. We had a sub-token. Now this is 12650. 29863. So why is it not getting mapped? 29863. Stats are there. We could see we have 13K requests. It's not updating. Because they're showing 0 impressions, that's why. So it's not actually, so it's missing stats. So in this case, it's probably filtered. So we would reach out to them. But, so you understand how the system works and how you can look for stats and how you can update and you can find what's missing, okay? But if you look at revenue, and you look at total revenue, the 16, you'll see a big difference, okay? Because we just added missing stats, revenue is up by an extra 100, okay? And we can keep going and looking for missed stats, and we'll see which is the big problems and the big holes. But the 16th is pretty good. See, this mostly went to Google, the temp. We lost most of the traffic is updated. So with temp, it's a fallback. Okay, it's going to Google, not a problem. Here it's missing ad traffic. Okay, you can always check what's happening with ad traffic. There's a file. So let's go to our email that we just set up and see if they have stats from ad traffic. Yep, we have stats. So we can update. And if it gets a score and it does well, the system will send more traffic to it. So let's add traffic. We have, the last stats is the 14th. No revenue. No mapping 1. 44. Let's see, height. So they sent 61 impressions. So really the stats don't match at all. So in this case, you would immediately reach out to this company and say, hey, what's going on? We are sending you 16K traffic a day. Well, this is the 16th, so it's not really, but you go on the 14th and you say, hey, it's missing stats. So this is where you have to be proactive, okay, in getting the stats and finding out what's going on. But I see their stats on November 17th, but what is this? But I don't see, it says that their stats on 11/17, but if you open the sheet, it stops at 11/14. So this is misleading, okay? So they stopped sending stats on the 14th. You reach out to ad traffic and say, hey, we need stats, or we need to disable this token. But for now, until you reach out and find out what's going on, it's very, very important that we disable this token. So we're going to disable it now because obviously there's something wrong with their system and they're not giving us updated stats. So we're sending them traffic, it's not getting monetized. Okay? Now, let's go to the next query that you had. In the URL, do we need to add sub ID and keyword? Okay? Let's check this token, R3T. This token is done very incorrectly. Let's look. R3T. Okay. So they gave us a token. First of all, we don't use this parameter, so this is incorrect. Okay. If we're going to use this, ID as the thing, we have to change the parameter. I think we support sub ID, but I want you to get used to using the sub ID of feed, the parameter of feed. So if you're going to just read this, if you're going to just try to read the feed from here, you have to be very careful because you can't do sub IDs. Okay, you can't do sub mapping if you're going to use the parameter. Okay, so if you were going to create, let's say, in this case, a sub ID, then you can't use this parameter and you would have to hard code it. So you would just copy this and then you can use sub IDs on this one also. But, okay, we're going to continue and we're going to use their feed parameter, okay? And we're going to use the feed parameter instead of sub ID, okay?
So,
So yeah,
Leonid,
this, yes.
so actually we can use any of the three queries, right? Like first one is query equals Q, search equals Q, and keywords equals Q.
Yes, keyword works, QE works, query works, yes. But for
Okay.
simplistic purposes, I like to use Q, you know?
Keyword
But
equals Q, right?
yeah,
Okay.
also you can remove this part from now on. You don't need mapping to, because we're using the company name over here, so you can just put it over here like that. And this looks good now. And always, always, always test the feed, okay? So if you want to test the feed, take any URL. Okay. Let's put it. Let's take this token. We're gonna copy. Okay, paste it, and you're gonna test it. Missing query. Missing query. They want the plus symbol maybe. Let's see. It's missing Q. We updated it already. Let's see. We're gonna open a new one and see if it works. So you see, there's a problem with their with this feed. Okay. Um, this I've never seen before, by the way. We have to reach out to them, and you have to say you have some problem with your feed because it's not our system. Because if you take their hard code link, okay, and you test the link itself, you'll see you'll have the same issue. So MF986 and oh, I know why. We don't support sub IDs. Ah, okay. For VHS, don't see. So this is wrong. Their feed is wrong. Okay. Whoever gave us this link is incorrect. Okay. I can fix it based on what I think. Okay. Um, but I would reach out to them. Okay. Uh, And let's see if this will work just as a test. But I'm gonna just test this for a second because I happen to know these links. Um, hold on one second. Uh, so it should look like this. And channel equals, yeah. So they use the Q parameter. So it's not, it should look like this. So we can update it because I know, but you can always talk to support to see it. But this should work. You see now it goes to Google because the feed is not active probably. So they don't use the keyword parameter, okay? They use, I don't know who gave you this link. It should be NQ equals Q. And now it should work. Um, and we don't need the sub ID. We'll update the changes. And if you want to test the link, we can test the token now. And let's copy this URL. And let's take this token, replace it. There. Now it should work. Still missing the Q. Why? Oh, it takes 5 minutes. So anytime you see an error like this, the system is built so there shouldn't be, there's a delay of 5 minutes before updates are created, especially links and stuff like that. It's a security measure. So you'll still see this error, the N keyword, but it should be updated. In 5 minutes, we'll check this again, okay? Because we're using the Q now. So everything should be okay. Okay, because we actually hard tested this link directly. And if you test the link directly and works, then, but we have a separate issue is that the feed is directing to Google. So we need to reach out to them regardless and find out what's going on and why the feed is redirecting. So this is important. Um, maybe they're expecting the sub ID here. Let's check. Because we don't support sub ID. And sub ID equals A and Q equals, it still goes to Google. So we need to reach out to them and find out if this feed is active, but it looks like it's not active. So we need to reach out to them and find out what's going on. They deactivated it. Okay, so that takes care of that question. Are we clear on that?
Yeah, Lionel.
Okay. The next question you had, Q equals Q. Yes, that's correct. Okay. Do we have any other queries?
Lionel, like traffic score 0. What if someone asks, what should I say, Lionel?
I literally just spent 20 minutes explaining it to you.
No, actually, I joined the call little late, so.
Ah, so traffic score equals 0 is, and we already removed all of them from 0 because it just means that there's no score in the system and could mean one of two things. There's not enough data yet, but in most cases, it's because there's a problem and there's no stats. So always look for holes in the stats. So we updated all the stats for the 16th. See, revenue went up, everything went up, and we reduced a lot of the zeros. The problem is with 50M, okay, there's no stats. With prime roll in this case, we don't have enough. We're missing some data. Okay, so or it's 100%, or there's some kind of issue. But in this case, we will get a score because we just updated. So it just takes some time. Yeah,
Okay.
that means
Yeah.
there's no stats. Okay, if you
So
want,
do you want me to pause the tokens? Is it if it's 0?
if it's zero, first check if there's stats. Check both emails. I just gave you access to the other email as well. Okay, reach out to the provider. Say, listen, we're pausing your thing unless you update stats by tomorrow. And if they don't respond by tomorrow, we just pause it.
Okay. Yeah.
But
Got it.
zeros should always be paused. Okay,
Okay.
let's see what
Yeah.
happens with Tris. See if we can get stats. So we have missing stats of 4. Okay, but probably it's all filtered. Or something's wrong with this feed. In this case, we can actually pause it. Yeah, traffic is broken due to wrong keyword parameter. So they were sending garbage traffic here. That's why you have a 0. We blocked all this traffic because they never replaced the car insurance. Uh, it was a test keyword. So we gave them a sample keyword, okay? And they never replaced it with actual parameters. So all the traffic is blocked. That's why you have a 0 in this case. There's no stats because it's blocked. Okay? Let's look at another case. Here there's a 0 because there's no stats. We went through this. I checked all the email. He said we have to reach out to add traffic to find out what's going on. Okay, let's understand what's going on with type.com. So they have an API. Let's see if we have stats. And there is stats. So no one added it. So now we're going to update all the missing stats. Okay, we have missing stats. First of all, we need to reach out to them and understand. Let's understand what's missing. 3143 is missing. So 3143. This is 12650. You see? Do you remember we were looking for 12650 before? Now we find out the problem. It looks like this 12650 has the wrong provider. You see this URL, and this is under type.com. So this is why I want to show you how important AddUps is in this case, okay? Because we know now from the other thing that this is Zach Media. So whoever created this token, put it under the road. So before I update this, I want you to, I want to show quickly, and so you'll know what to do also, okay? Before you make mistakes like this. Okay, let's go back to the 15th, okay? We're gonna look at Zach Media, and you will see that we had a problem with Zach Media missing some stats, 12650, okay? And 12650 on the 15th, we had no mapping, 12650. So now, from what I see on type.com, that we have no mapping 12650, I'm able to determine that this missing traffic, okay, of 12650 is because it was put under the wrong provider, okay? So now we're gonna update this under Zach Media, okay? And that's why it wasn't missing either, because it was under the wrong provider. So it won't show up as missing. This is a huge mistake that you cannot make. Okay, but now we're gonna update both, and you'll see this will disappear from here. See, it's gone, and it's gonna disappear from Zach Media. We're gonna update Zach Media, and now it won't show. We have an issue with mapping, okay, but it doesn't show that it's missed. So because we updated the token for the provider, you see the mapping is still wrong. It's still showing under the wrong provider. So now all we need to do is remove the word type. Okay, I'm gonna update it. And now you're gonna click update here, boom. Everything goes green. You see, like magic. So now we're going to update this. We're going to start getting a score on Zach Media. We're going to start getting a score on Type, and things will start to look healthy. Okay? So we're going to update here. We still have missing stats 3143 and 3366. Now we're going to investigate this further, but we need to see probably the same problem happened. This 3343 and 3143 is under some other provider. So if you keep digging for missing stats and finding someone probably made a mistake and put this under 3143, and it might be under a different provider. Okay. Let's see if we could find 3143 under stats. Okay. Let me find it under tokens. So we see it's under type. Missing. But we have another 3143. No, that's not correct. So this might belong to another provider or it's just missing stats. Either way, we're going to update type.com now. We have tons of stats that, oh, this was updated already. 16th was updated. 17th was updated. Let's check the 15th, make sure it was updated. Okay, it was updated. Updated. Okay, now if we look at the 15th again, this should 1265 and 3366. Let's refresh. So some of the red went away and we'll get a score eventually. Okay. But we're still missing stats for 3366 and we're still missing stats. You see, it was turned off already because anytime you're missing stats, we turn it off. Okay. Same thing with Zach Media was missing 4650. But if you keep looking for missing stats, maybe you'll find that it was put in the wrong thing. So we turned off all of these. It has a line in it because of no stats. Okay? So 00 means no stats and the system can't give it a score and we need to figure out what's going on. But if you continue to have 00, you just turn it off. See, we turned this off. Don't have 00 with the score. Okay? And now we have an increase in revenue at least. And revenue increased again to 51. And that's good. Okay, so any other questions?
Nothing.
So we need to start seeing missing stats, okay? Let's check Blender, okay? You have access to the other email, so we could always check if it's not in this email here. Okay, let's check for Blender. See, so the last, we don't have stats from Blender yet. See, the last stats we have October 3rd. We need to reach out to them ASAP, or we need to turn off the traffic. But right now, I see in the 16th no stats, and we're sending traffic. We need to reach out to them, unless they have some kind of API, which I don't see, or they're sending it to the new email address, which is their Gmail. I'm not checking the email, I'm checking AdApps at Mobi. So check for stats, or else try to figure out where the stats are. But I already see that a lot of holes for these two. So someone didn't add a lot of stats. We have a lot of missing for the 17. Okay, this will show miss, and I don't want to see anything missing right now. Okay, we have a lot. Uh, this one should be updated. Okay, now I'm not showing any stats, but please check that and find out what's going on. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm gonna hang up now. If you have any questions, let me know. Okay. Bye.
Yeah, Lian.
Do you have a question?
Yeah, no, actually that question is not regarding this. This actually you told me to create a Adscape, and actually I got a request from Georgia on the ads feed request. So how can I continue with you?
What was the request?
Yeah, just this guy he pinged me in Skype hi. So that feed I actually have created in Skype ads feed. So do I
Yeah.
need to continue with him?
Yeah. We gave him access to the platform, which I gave everyone the logins. Okay.
Yeah.
We need to ask him to give you 10 publishers or 10 feed or new feeds to add one by one. We have to start adding providers that are adding feeds, adding. He needs to get started. Ask him what the next step is.
Yeah, yeah, we'll start.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Thanks. And we'll add some more clients soon. Okay. The most important is they need to start getting feeds. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Okay. Bye.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.